So just two finds from today. I stopped at Value Village to donate some items and decided to go look around. I spent $10.82, and these are the two items that I purchased. I'll start with this one. This is likely going to be a bust, but I had a look at this in the store and it just looks really good. Like, it looks like silver. And if you've ever held silver before, you know that a lot of times they would make it very thin. So it would have these little dents in it and dings and stuff like that. So I was looking all over for what could be like a hallmark or something like that. But I couldn't find it anywhere, and it was just driving me crazy. And then I noticed on here, these two little spots on there, and then opposite on the other side, right there. So I was wondering if it had probably like a handle at one time. And maybe if it did have the handle, it would have the stamp on the handle. So the other thing, on the bad side, it looks like there could be some, it's either rust or it could be some brass wearing through. So I don't know if this is going to be real or not. I'm going to have to put get a file and see if underneath this is actually solid, like a silver color, or if it's a brass color. That'll tell if it's either 800 silver, or if it's 925, or if it's just like a brass, really thin brass piece. But yeah, if you've ever held silver before, you know they make it very thin on purpose. So just because of the weight of it, it's so expensive as well. So yeah, I'm gonna get a file and file that and see if it comes up as just silver plate, or if it could potentially be silver. And then the other item was this, and this is just a vintage barometer, and you can see the price was $8.50. I thought I'd buy this because I usually sell these for about $30 locally, or probably around 50 or 60 on eBay. So I thought I'd buy this for $8.50, and if that ends up being fake, then this will probably cover it anyway, so we won't be out too much money. So yeah, those are the two finds for now. I'll let you guys know if this one's silver or not, and I'll quick update. So I tried using baking soda and vinegar to clean this off. You could see there was a whole bunch of rust deposits on it, and it would not do anything to clean it. So in a ditch effort, I got some sandpaper, and I just started scratching it. And you can see it is absolutely 100% silver underneath that rust. So I was really happy to find that. I suspected it could be silver, but like, you never know. A lot of people would discount it because of that rusty surface, but they don't know that sometimes there's things in the bowl that cause the rust on the surface. So the only way to really tell for sure is either A, to find a hallmark on it, which I could not find a hallmark anywhere, or B, just try and scratch that surface off and see if it polishes to a silver color like that. So yeah, that is an awesome find. I actually brought my scale here so I can weigh it out for you guys. So we have 196 grams of silver, and I believe that's about $205 in scrap silver value. And this won't be ever, sold for resale. This would only be used for scrap just because of the damage and all the dings and scratches and everything on it. But that was an awesome find for, what was it, $3.49. I kind of took a chance on it, but I'm glad I did. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, it pays to kind of feel like, maybe if you go into like an antique store or something like that, and you can feel what sterling silver feels like. They always made it a very lightweight because it's so expensive. So and you can always tell if it has like dings and dents like that. That's a good indication that it could be sterling, because it's such a thin metal and it's like a malleable metal. You'll get dings and dents and stuff like that. But yeah, that was an awesome find. Glad I went in there today. So anyways, I'll get this put away, and I'll list this, and I'll let you guys know if anything sells. Bye for now. Good day, guys. We are back again with another group of finds. This time it was from a estate auction through Great West. So here are all the items, and I'll start off with the price. So we paid $341.12 for everything. So I'll go through everything with you guys. You can see there's some clothes over here and a nice vintage snap-on jacket. So I'm not too sure how we're going to do with all this, but really great estate auction. The person that had the estate auction was a machinist, so there was a lot of machinist tools, and you can see here this jacket says the Jaws of Life. So I guess I was talking to one of the guys that was working there, and I guess this machinist worked on this equipment and right when they were first bringing it out. So he was one of the first people trained on the Jaws of Life. So I guess he would be assigned to go and all over our area and use the Jaws of Life if it was needed. And he trained a lot of firefighters on using that equipment as well. So anyways, I'll start off with the list here. And sorry about the noise. There's construction always going on next door, so I'm going to try and work through it. But the first item was this machinist cabinet, and it was $55 plus fees, probably around $65 or $70 total. And that is this item here. And this is a really nice antique oak, looks like tiger oak cabinet. And you pull this little pin up and you can pull it out, and you can see a really nice chest of drawers. It still has some of the tools in it. So this would have been in his machine shop. A lot of sharpening tools, stuff like that. This was a really great find. Again, probably, so $55 total. So it'll probably come to over roughly around $70 with auction fees. And I am going to probably list that on eBay for around, let's say around $300. And then it'll be a heavy item to ship, so the shipping cost will be way up. But if I can sell it locally, probably list it for around $250 locally. Either way, a really cool antique, and I love that it has the original cover included. Just a really cool item. So that was the first item. The second item was a homemade wooden workshop organizer, and that was $87.50. So roughly, we'll say $110. And that was this. And this is just really nice, a really nice antique chest of drawers. You can see it was actually made with Crest brand pancake flour. So an antique flour box. Somebody had made this way back in the day, probably around the turn of the century, and it is just loaded with character. I wasn't really too worried about paying up for this item. I think this will sell for the most amount of money, likely around $300 or $400. So this item alone could pay for everything that we purchased today. I just love that it's made. It's kind of like a folk art piece, just the way it was handmade and the way they just put these little tiny drawers in here. Either way, it looks so cool. I'm going to enjoy this, until eventually it does sell. But I thought that was really nice. It looks like they used insulators for some of the knobs here. So that was the second item, roughly around $110. The next item, the Red Fire Emergency Telephone Call Box, and that was $37.50, so roughly around, we'll say $50. And that is this item right here. And I actually saw some listings on eBay for this item for around $400. I'm not too sure if they'll sell for that, but really cool piece of history. That would look cool on any garage wall or in a man cave or something like that. Just a really cool antique item, or vintage item, I should say. And it's solid steel. So I thought that was worth the buy at roughly around $50. The next item is the collection of jackets, coveralls, belts, and more. So that was $52.50. And that is this stack over here. So one of the first items I saw in this collection was this. This is probably from the early 80s, maybe late 70s, but really cool vintage vest. I'll probably list that on eBay for around 150. And then this vintage, I believe it's like a pea coat kind of thing, kind of jacket. There was some sold listings for around 150 for this, but with clothing, you never really know. I did see this afterwards when I was loading everything up. This is a vintage snap-on jacket, really cool. See, it's got the logo on the back. The only thing is it's small, so I'm not too sure how well it's going to sell. So we'll get that listed and see how it does. And underneath that we have I thought this was a men's jacket, but I think it's a boy's jacket. But either way, it's really cool. I got that fraying on it. And yeah, you can see the name Boyville Simpson Sears. So it is a smaller jacket, but I thought this was a men's jacket. This would have been worth a lot of money if it was a men's size. But either way, I'll list that as well and see how it does. And then there's some coveralls, and I believe this is a life preserver, vintage life preserver. Yeah, that was all the clothing that was included. So $52. We should do around $200 for some of these items combined. The next item is this Simplex recorder, time recorder, missing the key, $12.50. And that's this right here. I just thought it was really nice looking. Not too sure how it's going to sell. It would just look cool on a shelf somewhere. But I thought for $12.50, so probably $15 total, that was a decent pickup. After that, we have the Health Kit Battery Eliminator, $7.50. And that's this right here. And a lot of this stuff wasn't being really bid on, so I just put a quick bid. I think I bid $2.50 on this, and then somebody upped it to $5, and then I bid up to $7.50. Again, something cool that'll sit on the shelf. I'm not too sure if it actually works or not, so we'll have to test it out and see if it actually works. The next item is the scale, and that was $2.50. So that's this one here, and it's a postage scale. So I may just end up keeping this for shipping items. Not too sure how. Oh, capacity is 4 kilograms, so that's pretty handy. But yeah, for $2.50, it was kind of worth it just to buy it. I could list it locally for around $40 or $50, and maybe somebody would pick it up at some point. And then we have the mesh Slitzer bottles, $2.50. So that's these ones. And again, nobody was bidding on these, so I just put a quick bid in. I could probably sell the one for around $10 or $20 or something like that. And then last but not least, we have this vintage shaving kit, and that was $5. And here it is here. This is really nice. Really nice antique box. Looks like it's got tiger oak on the top and just looks really cool. It has the mirror with it, the shaving cup or shaving mug, and then the brush. And it came with shaver. I'm gonna have to look up the name of this one. Some of these can be worth a lot of money depending on the name. So that was worth it to pick up for $5, I felt. Unfortunately, the little comb broke. So, oh, it broke. It's kind of brittle. So maybe I can find something to replace that. But yeah, that is everything. So I'm going to get some stuff listed. Like I said, I'm hoping this sells for around $400, $300 to $400. This for around $200 to $300. And then this one, I have no idea, maybe around $200. And then the rest of this stuff, we'll see. Some of the jackets should do fairly well, especially that snap-on jacket, and then the Jaws of Life vest. So yeah, great group of finds. Tomorrow there's going to be a whole bunch of garage sales. I'm going to go wake up early and check them out. I believe there's a couple of community sales too, so we should find some really cool stuff. I'm going to try and get out early and kind of scope some places out and find some really cool antiques and collectibles and hopefully some silver and gold. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. So we are back again, guys, with another group of finds. I actually went out garage selling this morning in a couple of small towns, and there was community-wide garage sales happening, so I traveled out of town a little bit, probably about an hour out of town. So I'll start off with my garage sale finds, and then I'll go into some of the thrift finds from this week. The first find was this group of old records, and this was $30 for the collection. And I'm usually hesitant to buy records because a lot of them are damaged, and sometimes the names aren't the best. But I noticed there's some good names in this. Iron Maiden, Quiet Riot, Van Halen still in the sleeve. So I'm gonna have to sift through these and see which ones are worth saving and then which ones I'll just donate. But I thought for $30 it was worth taking a chance on them. Probably get around 100 to 150 for all of them. So that was the first find. The next find was this, and this was $2, and it's an antique photograph, and I thought it was neat because it's kind of like a side profile, and usually they were just straight on, but for $2 I thought that was an easy little pickup. I'll probably list that locally for around 25 or 30, and it should sell fairly easy. The next couple items were grouped together, and I'll try to keep them all as a group here. So I spent $30 on the rest of these items, and so we have a little Royal Dalton figurine that'll probably sell for $30 on its own. We have another one of these Joseph Originals figurines, and these are probably about $25 to $30 each. We have a couple of vintage lamps, really nice looking lamps. Unfortunately, the cord's not too well on these, so I'm gonna have to replace some of the wiring, but it's not really a hard job. I thought it'd be worth it for just to pick these up because their prices were so good at this sale. And then this is an Art Deco, kind of like an industrial lamp. So I thought that was kind of cool. It'll probably clean up very well, just kind of spray paint, you know, sand it down, spray paint, and then just might have to replace the wire on that one as well. And then another one of these vintage trays, and I sold the other one for $39. It was like a, I think if you remember, it was like a bus line, but yeah, this, I'm not too sure how much it's going to sell for, maybe 25 or something like that, but thought that was worth picking up with the group of items. The next item was this, and it's an antique. Oh, actually, this also came with those items, and it's just a vintage chalkboard. I thought it was kind of cool. Again, not really a really high priced item, but it should sell for around $25 or so. The next item was this antique torch, and it was $2. I've actually had this exact one before, and I think I sold it for like $20 or something like that. But it's kind of a decor piece. Might have to clean it up a little bit, but the price was right for $2. The next item was this. So this is L.E. Smith, I believe, and you can see it's carnival glass and it's red, so that makes it kind of unique. It was 50 cents, and I saw some compared listings for $54.99 for this exact one, but I thought it was nice enough just to pick up for 50 cents. And then these babushkas, I believe they're called, these were $1. I've sold these for around 20 to 30 locally, depending on how many pieces are in it. So these were $1 each. And then this was, I believe it was like 50 cents, but I just thought it was cool. It's kind of mid-century modern style. And that is it for all the garage sale stuff. So all in all, I think we'll do really well on the records. I'm going to separate out the best ones, and then make a pile to donate. And I'll probably bring that into Value Village or Goodwill. So we'll move on to some of the thrifted items, and I'll start off with this. I think you saw this. This will be in a video where I'm going to pick up the items from the auction. But this is a kind of like a mid-century. I believe they were like, they're skewers for like a bar or whatever. You'd set them on the bar and then you'd have olives on them or something like that. But I have seen online sold listings for this for around $100, and this is unique in that it has the whole set. A lot of these, you know, were separated from the set and went missing, so for $3.79. That was an awesome find. The next item was this Raptors hat, and this was $2, and this will probably sell for around 15 or 20. Then after I picked up some items from the auction, I stopped in Value Village and picked up these two vintage hats. Now this one looks amazing. It's a 1990s Orlando Magic starter hat, and it has the tags on it still. You can see the price there, $8.50. That'll probably sell for around 100. And then this one is a Denver Nuggets hat, Sports Specialties, and the price on this was $8.50 as well. This one will probably sell for around 80. So those two hats are amazing vintage hats. And if you don't know, vintage hats are an awesome item to look for because there are some that sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So those are really good to pick up. I also picked up some vintage shirts, and this was $5.79. We actually just watched a show on Rob Ford on Netflix, and I thought I'd try this one on eBay because there's one that's listed for around $100. So I think with the show being on Netflix right now, it might just sell to somebody in Toronto. There was also this vintage David Bowie shirt, and let's see, this one was $12.50. A lot of these were reproduced or mass produced later on, but this one is a vintage original, so this will probably sell for around $100. And then the last item was this, and this is a local bar that was in our town, Johnny Angels, and it was open in the 90s. I think it closed in the late 90s. This was $6.26, but I'm going to list this locally because I think there's people that collect items from our area, so probably list this for around $25. So yeah, that's the finds for now, guys. I'm going to go through some of the auction finds. I didn't get a chance to show you guys earlier. I'm going to get them all piled together and then make a video of those finds. But yeah, that's it for now. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.